Well, today's project is changing the float bowl, or not the float bowls, but the floats in the carburetor, and I'm going to go ahead and while I'm in there change the float needles to stop the flow of the gasoline into the bowl. The first step is to make sure both petcocks, the gas valves, are both turned off, and then under the bowl that you're going to pull off, get a container to catch most of the gasoline, because there's probably gas in there already. And do remember to turn off both petcocks, since there is a crossover tube right here that supplies the right hand carburetor. I'm working on the left hand side right now. I got my two floats and 2 needles from Max BMW. They did great. I ordered them on Wednesday evening, and this is Friday mid-morning, and they're here. That's wonderful. So hopefully I can get this bad boy back up and running for some iron butt rides. I got my first iron butt ride planned for June 21st for the summer solstice. First step is to pull this clip off. It rotates backwards. Usually they're simple enough to pull off. See, it went right away. But hold the bowl up when you take that last bit, because some gas will probably come out. Be very careful. Oh, I got a clean extraction that time. And so there's a bit of gas in the bowl, a little debris too. I'll have to clean that out. And so what I'm going to be replacing this endeavor is this, which is the float. You see they're discolored. They're heavy, I'm sure, because I've been having problems maintaining float level or gas level. And then just for general purposes, I'm going to also switch the needle valve in there. And this side also does not have a little clip that pulls the valve down when the float goes down. So sometimes this one runs lean, because like right now I can look in there and see that the needle is stuck in the up position. Let's see if I can show you that. Oh, there, a little bit of fuel came out. It's not. It's that little. Well, I don't have enough hands, but now the needle just dropped, just as I was taking a picture. But so that's what's getting replaced. The first step is to pull out this pin that holds the float in. Now, conveniently, it's knurled on one end to hold it in place, and conveniently that knurling is on this end. If you feel back here, you should be able to feel it sticking out a little bit. Now this end needs to be punched out just a little bit to get it started. Now, unfortunately, my punch for that it's a nice narrow one, I broke it off. I don't remember how. I've got a little screwdriver. And this does not take much force. In fact, you have to be very careful so you don't break off these tabs. So I'm going to use this little screwdriver, get it right on the head, and then so I don't get too monkey with it, I'm just going to use this tiny, tiny little hammer, and I can feel it moving. And there, whoops, that screwdriver got in, wedged just a tiny bit. And see, now it did come out the other side. But now my problem is that screwdriver's too big. I have smaller ones. I'm going to go get a smaller one and use it to push it the rest of the way out. A smaller bit, I'll push it further. Unfortunately, this is a jeweler's screwdriver, so it doesn't have a long tip. There it goes. And now, if you can get a hold of it, you just pull it out. And then, of course, if you had the clip on there, the valve would stay attached. Oop, the valve just fell out. There's the valve. There's the rod or pin, I guess. And there are the float bowls. And look how nasty they are. I'll compare these with the new ones. And here's the box from Max. Let's see. Take out the stuffing. And what's this? Okay. Ah, there's, don't know if that shows up, but that's the little pins that hold the needle to the float. Oh, and there's 2 new needles. Oh, and look at this. A bag of M&Ms. I did not order those. How'd they know I like those? And then here will be the new floats. Now these are nothing special. These are just the standard floats, and I'll just change them when they get saturated or whatever the heck the problem is with modern gasoline. I've heard people say alcohol, but I've heard reputable source Snow Bum on the Airheads site say that no, it's some other stuff that's in there. Ah, look at those. Beautiful. And compare those to the old ones. I definitely see a problem here. I think next I'm going to go get my scale and weigh them and see what the difference is, because that's what I've heard, is that the old ones will eventually soak up some of the additives that are in the gasoline and get too heavy, and then of course you can't control your fuel level in the bowl anymore. Okay, here's my wife's kitchen scale. I should probably put something on there, because it's not mine, it's my wife's, so I think I will. I'll take a piece of paper towel, set it on there. You can see it's not ultra accurate because it didn't even register that paper towel. Let's see, now here's the old one, 13 grams. I wish it had more resolution. 0.03 kilograms, 0.45 ounces, 0.028 pounds, 13 grams, 14 grams, 13. So it's a high 13. Now here are the new ones. 11 grams, 12, a high 11. So there we go. Well, now the next trick will be getting this tiny little clip. Let's see. There we go. I don't know. Can you see that? And then it goes on this clip, and then when the float bowl goes down, it will pull the valve down, and then when the float goes up, it will close the float valve. Actually, yeah, I'm doing it right now. So the next trick is get that little pin, or this little clip, into that hole. Okay, here's where you really need 3 hands to get this back up in there. Okay, I've got these guys ready to go. So what I do is I keep the knurled end out, start it on the far side. I don't know if that can be seen. And come around this way, making sure that clip is still on there. Get it started up into the valve. There it goes. Bring the float up higher. Push this pin through. And let's see, I can't see it. There it is. There. Now it's all the way through. Now is just give it one little tap. I want it just a little bit more. Let me try it at this end. I'm going to push it. There. See, it's about flush on this side. Notice, very gentle. Okay. So the next step is to set the fuel level. For this, I will put gloves back on because it gets a little messy. Okay, the next step is to adjust the float level. Now these floats, as I understand it, this straight line here should be parallel to that, and that's when the valve should be shut. So what I do is you lift this up, that's parallel right there, a little bit higher, and turn the fuel back on. Oh. It's dripping. So, if I push it all the way up, let's see what happens. Okay, it's sealed. Down just, oh, well, actually it's very close, so I don't have to do anything. Well, you want to definitely have a container underneath because you will drip a little bit. Actually, I looked pretty darn close. If not, what you do is you bend this little tab right here slightly to get it level. Now the real check though is put the float bowl back on and see that it doesn't drip on your boot. It does a few things. Well, waste gas, so your fuel economy is no good or gets worse, and kind of messes up your boots. It smells. So now make sure the gasket's still up in there, and then this simply slides back up. It's on straight, and then pull, and that's done. Okay, now the moment of truth. Let's turn the fuel back on. Now it's filling up the bowl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Looks good. I don't see any. There's a weep hole right in the bottom here, overflow. Nothing's coming out. I'd say that sucker is good. Good. So that's how you do it. Except for adjusting the float value a little bit, that's how you do it. Okay, here is the overflow that I was talking about earlier, I believe. This little tube here, it sticks up into the bowl, and then it comes out right there. I guess you can see that. Let's see. There. And that's also why there's some grunge under here, because this bowl has been leaking. You can see the height, so basically if the fluid gets up to the top, where's that? There's that little thing, there it is. At the top of this, which is, this level here, and hasn't shut off, and it should shut off. These floats, the fuel level's up here somewhere. Well, actually, now that I look at this needle a little closer, I do see the seat is kind of messed up, so that's probably what was causing the problem. The needle seat, because these are rubber tips here, so these needles are probably pretty old. So it looks like possibly I didn't need new floats, but the other ones will be, I'm going to save, air them out, and see if the weights on those change. I mean, I hear all these problems on the forums about them. And up here in Maine, we do get corn, we have a lot of corn gas. I think I use regular in this thing, and I think every one of them is 10% now. You got to get premium if you want to get real in only a few places. Can you find that?